they had to have a way to get the coal to Philadelphia or to New York, to the markets. What they did was originally they had the canals, and technology started advancing. They started getting trains, and around 1909 they built the St. Clair yards. Now the St. Clair yards were the largest in the world at that time. It was dedicated in 1913. It had a big roundhouse, and that was to repair the engines, and then the train would come in and they can be rotated around to its repair.
This building has been here since the early 1900s, and it was originally the miners' company store, where the miners would work like dog hours and for minimum payment, and then in the long run have to bring their paycheck back here and buy everything they needed for their homes. So in the long run, what happened was the mining companies actually got their money back because they had to buy everything here. They were not allowed to shop in any other store. So this building has a lot of history. It's always been a business. I try to keep it as original as I could, except for codes that I had to make up to date. But so a lot of people come in with that memory too, of knowing that they came in with pop-up to do with the grocery shopping, and so it does bring a lot of interesting conversation.
When the school left, it was about 89?
89.
When the board that was on at the time decided that they could take the high school to Pottsville, people really felt like they lost an identity, and it was kind of a real downtown for them, you know, because you kind of lost some of your pride. And then, of course, with the mines not working, things really went downhill. So there, for a period of time, there was not too much doing in St. Clair.
I think it's a really great area to have a business because I don't want to name drop, but because of having Walmart right up the street, you find people come from all over the county, you know, to shop at Walmart. And that way, when they're passing through the main street, I have a very good location with being on a corner and being at a traffic light, that it brings in a lot of business. I live in St. Clair for 25 years. I'm originally from Palo Alto. This is what's called a few of my favorite things, consignment shop. I take people's goods that they're finished with or have outgrown and resell them for them. I'm also available for anybody who's been in any kind of a fire or any kind of damage to their home, that they lost things, that I'll supply them with things to make sure that they're taken care of. If anybody would like to stop by my store, it's on 2 South 2nd Street in St. Clair. It's called A Few of My Favorite Things, and anybody who stops by, I will give 20% off if they mention that they saw this video.
St. Clair was a nice little community, and I didn't really want a big business. I was looking for an area where there was a certain amount of people and a nice group, church community, and that's why, because there was a good lot of churches and about 3,000 people back then. No, Coal Creek Plaza has not affected our business in any way. Actually, the Walmart people go shopping at Walmart, but they'll place an order for a pizza here and then go shopping and then come back and pick up their food. Now, of course, if a restaurant or a pizza place that opens up in the Coal Creek Plaza may affect our business for the first few months. But we're here 30 years, so we're established, and we have great customers. We have a good customer base. Yes, a lot of differences. This town has been waiting for Walmart, and now that it's here, people complain. The business community complains about it because they take all of the business. But I think that if you're diverse, you're diverse enough that you could make it in an in-town business. And since then, there hasn't been that many businesses on the main street of St. Clair. But right now, there's an emergence of new businesses in St. Clair. Like this block, the business district where the bank is, there is a lot of new business now. The tanning salon just opened up, and these people are supposed to put a bakery in across the street over here. And then there's another pizza place, and we won't mention the name. There's several second-hand shops in St. Clair that just came to be, which look like they're very successful. So yes, definitely a lot of there's changes all the time. That's one thing that's constant, is change. If you haven't tried Giorgio's Pizza, stop by and give it a shot. Try it out. I know there's a lot of pizza places, but how many pizza places have been in business for 30 years?
I do notice a difference from growing up in St. Clair. It was very close-knit. Everybody knew everybody, or everyone knew everyone. And now a lot of people come in, move out. There's a lot of apartments, and people used to, that was before air conditioning, and people would sit out in the front porches, so everyone knew everyone by name. And now it's just different. It's not as close-knit. Maybe neighborhoods are, but like town-wide, it's not as close-knit as it used to be. A lot of people, my mother lived in this town. She's 85, and she's lived here practically her whole life, and she says the same thing. It's just different. She doesn't know anyone in town anymore. And this street alone, I grew up on 20th Street, and after I was married, we lived on Nicholas Street for 26 years. Like that block, everyone knew everyone, and that was close-knit. This, living on 2nd Street, is entirely different. If I could, I would pick up this house and put it up there because it's a bigger house. That was a small house. I don't know if it's because of the traffic, the wideness of the street, but this street is not like that. Like, I know my next-door neighbor well, my kids grew up with their kids. And on the other side of me, he's very nice. We're in this house 10 years. I know his name is Paul. I don't know his last name. But he's very nice. We get along. But as for the rest of the block, I don't even know the people up at the other end of the block, except for maybe one or two that I knew before. And across the street, there's apartments, same thing. On this side, people come and go. So I don't even know who they are. It is different.
It's a nice place. People love it because of the fact that you're close to things. Don't have to go up the mountain in the snow. Okay, if you work anywhere, you don't have to drive that hill. It's a small community, very close-knit community, and you can go anywhere from here. You don't have to, and now, from what I'm told, that young people now do not want to, I don't know if this is true, you can take this out later, but, young people do not want to live in the suburbs when they're done. They don't want to live out where they have a big house with grounds around it and they have to drive everywhere and drive their kids to ball games and all. They want to go back to the old-time small community. Because even in the area of Philadelphia, they're developing like areas like that where they have everything in the one section, like by the art museum, and everybody has parties in the neighborhood. They want a neighborhood. They want a sense of belonging in a small town. And you've got that in St. Clair.